Mo had the Chiefs at 2. Bills at 7.
Hello world and welcome back to Gridiron. Campbell, the only podcast that puts its money where its mouth is. I'm your host, Rich Ryan, and I'm joined by the entire collective, the Disciple, Brett Colson, Donnie, DP Peters, and the resident moose himself, Mo Nawara. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Listeners, rate and review on your podcatcher of choice. 5 stars only, like Minka Fitzpatrick. Very last second, I needed a 5-star, and I told the boys here, I was like, when in doubt, just reach for somebody that played at the University of Alabama. Not FSU. You can't just pick a random Seminole and they'll be 5-star. Sorry to all of you Knowles out there. But if you went to Bama, if you were part of the Crimson Tide of Alabama, there's a high likelihood that you are an absolutely elite high school football player.
How many stars was Trubisky? The guy was the second overall pick. He had to have been 4-star, right?
Mo, what do you got? This is a game I used to love to play with Mo on Gridiron U. R.I.P. Mitchell Trubisky. Looking it up right now. This is me filibustering. He was a 2013 dual threat quarterback. Of course, went to North Carolina. How many stars, Mo, for Mitch Trubisky?
I'm going to say he was a 5.8 4-star.
5.6 3-star.
5.6.
No respect.
What are the Bears?
I mean, he played
doing?
a season at Carolina, right? Where didn't he just have one season of stats? Like 10 starts? And Chicago was like, yep, that's our guy. Get him in there.
Don't need Mahomes.
Don't need
Deshaun. Need Trubisky.
Man, oh man. 1-4 in the contest last week, which again, Brett was the only person to go 1-4 last week. Donnie and I both went 2-3, and Mo was 3-2. So how bad is the collective running over the last 2 weeks, where we're averaging individually like 2.5 points, and we're only getting a point in the contest? It's absolutely garbage. But we move on. It's the final quarter, so even if we might be drawing extremely slim to cash in the entire contest, we can put together a nice 5-week run here, finish strong, and win some money in the quarter. And it's a fun week here in week 14 with 2 big rivalry games, one in division, and that's where we'll start as the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Big D to take on the Dallas Cowboys. This was 2.5 in favor of Dallas on the look ahead. They opened field goal favorites and have moved up to 3.5 after the Eagles were absolutely drubbed at home by the San Francisco 49ers. Even Big Dom couldn't stop San Fran from bowling them over. The market reacting. There was a lot of talk last week going into that game. Where do the Eagles land? Mo and Brett, who do rankings over at thelines.com, had them 5th, I believe. And yet, here they are, where this line is only saying that the Cowboys are a point better, perhaps. Both of them are on the Philadelphia Eagles. I was very surprised to see this, Mo. We'll start with you. Talk about the brotherly birds.
So I didn't have a lot of confidence in this pick, or almost all my picks this week. I had like 2 that I kind of liked, but as far as this game goes, I'm just trying to buy in a little bit low on the Eagles, I think, and in a spot where I think the line is pretty fair, but I can't decide if like 3 or 3.5 is right. So when they give me the hook, I'm just going to take the Eagles, especially if I think the contest is going to take the Cowboys, which is kind of how it seems like it's going, with, I think, everyone just basically cashing out last week, just fading this fake elite Eagles team, I guess. So I don't know if the Cowboys are better. I feel like it's close. And if you give me the hook, I just am going to have to take the hook. Win a spot where I think like we can get a little bit of a buy low, just because the Eagles performed poorly last week in a spot where I think we all expected them to perform poorly. It was a really nasty spot against a well-rested, revenge-minded 49ers team. That's probably the best team in the NFL and probably by a good amount. So following that game, I think we maybe have a little bit of an opportunity to buy low. It's not the most exciting, but give me the hook, I guess.
Just on its face, though, do you think the Cowboys are a point better than the Eagles?
I mean, when they're healthy with Dallas Goedert, I don't know. I don't even know who's the better team here. Like, I don't think we can know. I think we know it's close, but the Eagles do tend to perform at their best in these spots, and the Cowboys tend to perform at their worst. I know that.
Dak definitely has the Dak in him. We've got the McCarthy aspect of appendicitis earlier in the week. So what is his availability going to be? Is that a bad thing for McCarthy to not be on the sidelines? Brett, pile on with the birds in the spot.
Yeah, I just think this has gone too far. I have no problem rating the Cowboys higher than the Eagles right now. I think that's probably correct, but north of 3 is too high for me, even with the Cowboys sitting pretty on this injury report, which looks so clean. That's nice. But I don't know. The Eagles have injury concerns, but yeah, like Mo said, could get Dallas Goedert back this week. Looks like Zach Cunningham will be back. Key starters who have been out for this team. I just think this is going to be a close game more often than not. And if that's the case, I have to take the hook.
I'm all out on this Eagles team. Complete frauds. Finally, the chickens came home to roost last week. And if anything, I think this is a fair line. I think you can, on its face, say that the Cowboys are a point better than the Eagles. And I'm just in that spot going to take the better passing offense. And right now, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in football. With the weapons he has.
Stop what you are saying right now.
With the weapons he has and the way this offense is humming. Mo, you say that on third down. Who leads the NFL in EPA per play?
Against the most cupcake schedule you
But
could possibly fathom.
But he's doing it. He's
Can
doing
only
it. I don't know
play
what else
who's
he's
on
supposed
your
to do.
schedule, buddy. That's how it works.
I don't know what he's else.
Okay, but
having a
don't tell me
career
he's
year.
the best in the world. I mean, relax over there.
Right now he is.
I'm not going to stand for this. This is ridiculous. He's not even top 5.
You watched Canton puke on his own cleats in Lambeau. That was an awful interception.
He had one bad throw.
That was the game. He handed the game.
The defense lost that game. They got wrecked. The Packers punted like once.
Jordan Love, the second coming. They did it again. Aaron Paul. They can't keep getting away with this. DP, put a pin on this contest. You two have Big D.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the offense for the Cowboys. I'll echo that and then add it in combination with the fact that I think this Eagles secondary can get had, right? So I think that's a big thing here. I think the potential for the Dallas offense to score points is much greater than the Eagles offense. I think the Eagles have just been going through it. Super tough schedule as of late. I mean, I know Mo is like, this is the spot. I kind of want the Eagles to get their doors blown off and then just buy them next week when they play this stupid Seahawks team. Like, that's kind of my plan overall. I don't know if that's ultimately going to work out, but we'll see how it is. Mo, you brought up the well-restedness of things. Dallas coming off Thursday, well-rested. Eagles have been, again, super tough schedule as of late, playing all these really tough teams. They're trying to battle. They're trying to do the whole Philly thing, fight, but that's going to catch up at some point. And I think these weaknesses are starting to show a little bit. I think there's some sloppiness in combination with the Eagles probably aren't as good as a lot of people thought they were. Not that they're not very good, because they are, but maybe not number one in the NFL, stuff like that. So I'm on the Cowboys here. Also think it's a bit of a revenge spot. Dallas should have won that first game that these two teams played. Okay, we were on the Cowboys there. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we got jobbed there, losing by 5. That was the Cowboys game. So I think there's going to be some revenge narrative here in a divisional matchup.
But like Mo said, how predictive are the Cowboys being idiots when it matters? That's what
sure,
worries
yeah,
me
but
the
like
most.
this is also a week-to-week league, and they've been pretty darn good and not idiots for like 4 or 5 weeks now in a row. So yeah, that can always happen with the Cowboys. It can certainly always happen, but right now I'm just going to believe that they're going to be up. They're going to have their shit together. Dak is going to be continuing to play well. You know, the offense in general is going to be continuing to play well. So yeah, I'm looking for the the Cowboys here to perform extremely well overall.
I mean, it was literally 3 inches in 2 separate spots that cost us that one.
Yeah, absolutely brutal stuff. Guys, Bill's gonna blow the tank tonight, man. This exotic look that he just showed Trubisky to force him into the interception, Bill's in his bag. The Patriots might win by 20 tonight. Pat's alternates blowing the tank.
If anyone
Donnie.
should be tanking, it should be Bill Belichick because he's also the GM. Okay, like he's not like some coach going rogue against the GM's wishes, the GM looking out for the organization, the coach looking out for his job. Bill is both. Okay, buddy? Tank, you idiot.
I love this.
This is great. The Jets are going to backdoor into Marvin Harrison because they're not going to win another game. And then they're going to trade for Devontae, and they're going to have Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, and Marvin Harrison.
Spoiler alert.
Harvin Marison, I mean. I shouldn't say that name. Next game, Broncos at Chargers. This was 3 on the look ahead. Open 3 in favor of LA. I'm still seeing 3. And yet Circa went ahead and hung 2.5 in favor of the Chargers, which makes me love Denver because folks are going to see that number and maybe opt to take it in real life instead of taking it in the contest. A bit of a devil spot. And the Chargers are going to charger. We know that. That's part of the cap. Broncos, much better coach, much better defense. So, yeah, this is ultimately why I click Denver in a bit of a coin flip spot. Once again, DP's on my side, on Peyton, on Russ. DP, I thought you of all people, after watching Russ last week, throw that interception into the end zone. I thought you of all people would not be clicking.
I mean, yeah, I watched it. I also watched the Chargers score 6 points against the worst team in the NFL. So, I mean, what?
Yeah.
And now they're going to go home in quotation marks, to what is going to be a home game for the other team because Denver's got some good fans. I'm sure they're trying to get out of that bad weather in Colorado, hit the LA. Like, let's go. I mean, and the Chargers are going to charger. They always charger at home especially. Like, I don't know what it is, but they suck at home. Okay. Better coach. I mean, quarterback at this point, I can't really, I know Justin Herbert, like he has it in him, but like I need to also see him actually do it. Like I know the talent is there, but like, dude, do it. Okay. Like if you're supposed to be the next coming of everything, like everyone keeps crowning you every single season, you need to go out there and you need to put the damn team on your back and win football games. And Justin Herbert has not been able to do that. Okay. So the end of the Chargers, okay, they're going to charger like they do every single stupid year. So let's go. Broncos all the way.
We joke about Brett not being able to fold LA. Mo can't fold the Chargers. Mo is just martingaling the Chargers every single week.
Well, it's a public dog here on Denver. The public still believing that this is a decent team. They should have won
last week.
Guys.
They should have beat the Texans last week.
What are you talking about?
They were marching to win the game and threw a pick in the end zone.
Way the Broncos can win football games is if the other team hands them the win.
Perfect spot this week, buddy. I don't know.
All right,
it's
maybe,
the Chargers.
But the Chargers are also, keep an eye out. Key IR return here could be from Josh Palmer. I know it's just a random player, but dude, he is actually a decent receiver, and they are starving for someone to go catch a pass from Justin Herbert. Okay.
And to be fair, in this spot of all spots where Surtain can follow Keenan Allen, if they don't have somebody complimentary in that receiving core, how the hell does LA move the ball?
Yeah, and we're getting the chance to buy the offense here after a game in dreadful weather on the road across the country. That was always going to be a tough spot to perform well with Keenan Allen banged up. I mean, I think the Chargers are better than the Broncos still. So I'm going to take the Chargers here somewhat reluctantly, but especially if the public is on the Broncos, I'm going to take under the key number and just hope for the best. I mean, would I be stunned if the Chargers lost by 10? I mean, no, of course not. It's the Chargers. But like I said, they are thriving on the other team handing them the win, guys. They are not good.
Does Brett have Hunter Henry shares?
So many best ball shares of Hunter Henry. I was like, yes, the one guy.
That was Jordan buzzer beater against the Jazz type fist bump.
That's huge. I'm not gonna lie, that was huge.
The old huge Hunter Henry.
We need it.
Brett, cap this contest. Your bolts. You're back on them.
Dude, the stink on this Chargers team is just so rotten right now. I feel like this has to be the spot where you just buy back in because the market's just given up. And I get it. They've underperformed their priors yet again. Negative net yards per play, abysmal defense, no running game, yet a coordinator who just continues to cram Austin Eckler into defensive lines. But I have to back LA because I still think the Chargers are better than the Broncos. It all really comes down to a quarterback. Like Herbert, as long as he has actual receivers running routes, deserves more credit than the market is giving him here. I don't know what the contest is going to do with this because, yeah, everyone's piling Denver, but that's a different number. So, like, are people going to click Chargers here? Probably not, but I think they're going to be scared off Denver at 2.5 too.
We move to the Meadowlands as I reach for the sounder, where the Houston Texans are 3.5-point favorites in the contest against Gang Green. This was 4.5 on the look ahead. Opened 5.5 as it looked like once again something Tim Boyle or perhaps maybe Trevor Siemian would be under center for the Jets. But it's going to be Zach Wilson, the man who is allegedly reluctant to go back under center for the New York Jets. And once again, I don't know what you guys are doing. This is the easiest cap of the week. The New York Jets are playing a pro football game, and the number 7 or higher isn't next to them. So you click the other team, and you put them as high as you can. I don't understand.
No, I know this is a bit, but you know that's not how this works, right? That's not how this works.
What have you watched from the last 2 months from this
isn't
team?
Tim Boyle.
You're right. It's Zach Wilson. So we went from the worst ever, literally, to one of the worst ever. Perhaps the worst ever to ever play a meaningful number of snaps. I think I'm comfortable saying that.
Listen, okay. Miami was -6.5 against the Jets. It moved to 10.5 when Tim Boyle was the starter. Okay. Zach Wilson is multiple points better than Tim Boyle.
Was 10.5 enough?
Well, what are you trying to tell me? That's what I'm telling you.
I'm trying to tell you it should have been 10.5 with Zach Wilson. This line moved 3 points. The move is correct. The move is 100% correct. Zach Wilson is probably a field goal better than Tim Boyle. The line should have started at 8 for Houston. I don't know what you guys are doing here. This team cannot score touchdown.
First of all, who is you guys? You haven't even said who you guys is yet.
I'm on your side. I put this game on my notes and I said, I'm done trying to support this stupid Jets team. There's not a 7 in front of their name. I just got to believe Rich. And that's the end of this. That's the end of it.
Why would they get first downs? Why would they start now? What's going to be different?
Zach Wilson can get first downs. He can.
No, he cannot. You must have missed the Giants game, where they didn't score for 55 minutes in that game. You must have missed the Eagles game, where they didn't score for the entire game until the Eagles allowed them to score. They literally stopped playing football and ushered Breece Hall into the end zone. That is the only time they scored in that contest. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. This thing is broken. Top down, broken. And now we have a guy who literally doesn't want to playing quarterback. It's a disaster.
Okay, I will admit that part is scary if he's totally checked out, but we got to believe he's going out there to perform and put something on tape for somebody to hire him at another job, right? I mean, I don't know. This spot is just, if the weather wasn't a complete disaster, yeah, I'd be with you, but this is still an elite defense against a team that just lost probably its most important weapon on offense, and
don't you besmirch Nico? Don't you besmirch Nico like that. Stop it.
I like Nico. He's doing work for my fantasy team. I'm just saying, I don't know.
When are you guys going to quit? When are you guys going to quit?
I can't.
I've been beating the Jets every week. Don't do this.
Brett, I looked this up. I looked up Brett's stats
every
this year.
single week.
He's 2-9-1 in Jets games. He refuses.
They're due. I don't know. I feel like the potential weather here limits the edge that the Texans have at quarterback over the Jets. That's it. And also,
fair. That's fair.
They have to cover at some point. Like, look how far this has gone. This is wild.
That's the thing. They haven't fixed it. They're getting 3.5 points. They have not fixed it. None of these numbers have been anywhere in the ballpark of a team that, look at how much red I'm looking at on this sheet. These lines have not been indicative of how this is the worst team by EPA per play on offense in the history of the database. 766 of 766. The bottom, the stone bottom.
But the total is 30.
Okay, so it'll be like every other Jets game where it goes under because the score is 17-3. Every game, it's every week. Just believe what you see. Why would it change?
Zach Wilson could score 10 points, and that might be enough.
The problem with that, yes, Zach Wilson could score 10 points. If Nathaniel Hackett was not his offensive coordinator and actually going to run plays for him to throw the ball, but we've seen it already, Hackett will not let Zach Wilson play at all. So the combination of Zach Wilson, who's just coached badly, and Nathaniel Hackett is not going to do anything. I have to believe Rich at this point. He's right every week. I'm done with the Jets team.
Well, and here's the thing about if they let Zach cook, Zach could give the ball to the other team 4 times. Like, that's in the range of outcomes as well. So when you're doing your analysis, of course, Zach introduces a level of variance to the Jets offense that no other quarterback on the roster does, right? Like, he can run around and throw the ball and make plays, but there's an equal amount of outcomes when he's doing that where the other team gets the football because he holds it like a loaf of bread. He fumbles it back there. He throws it to somebody in the other team. And I think weather might exacerbate that as well, especially his inability to feel the pocket and just fumble the ball on soft sacks. So yeah, I can't get there. I can't get there. And especially after the Pats win tonight, we cannot blow the tank. We have to lose out and get a top 3 pick.
Well, then why are they playing Zach?
Because nobody's in charge. One week, one guy makes a decision. The other week, somebody else makes a decision. It's a shit show. And the worst part of all of it is Woody's not going to can anybody. Because after Rodgers went down, there was this understanding of, okay, it's a lost year, blah, blah, blah. We're going to all come back next year. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic stuff. Those are the split games. Off to the Lone Wolves. I need some laughter. I need some fun. Donnie has a pair of Lone Wolves in his top 5, including Brett's boy, Jake Browning, and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a pick'em in the contest. They were 2-point dogs on the look ahead, but have moved all the way out to 2-point favorites. The market is all in on the UW product under center for Cincinnati. DP, tell us why you too are all in on the Bungles.
Well, I said in the Discord last week, I am snap fading this stupid Colts team. Whoever they play, you're lucky I didn't put them as my number 1, but I can't do it. I hate this Colts team. They should not have won last week. They needed to overtime against the Titans after getting 2 blocked punts.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
What?
I've never seen it. 2 block punts, and then in OT, they give up the field goal, and then just a free 60-yarder.
The whole thing, I mean, it was insane, because we were on the Titans. I'm so annoyed with that the Colts suck. Gardner Minshew sucks. Everyone sucks on the Colts, okay? So, yes, this is probably the squarest of square sides. I'm luckily that I have Bengals plus 2.5 in my account already because I got it way ahead of time. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to love it. But this Colts team has got to go, man. I am going to, what Brett, what Rich does, what Mo does with some teams, I'm going to do it this season with the Colts. I'm going to martingale my ass against them every single damn week until they lose. I can't take this anymore, okay? They are not good. And what I saw on the other side is, listen, the Bengals could have easily just effed off for the rest of the season. Your star quarterback goes down. You're like, whatever. No, they went out there and they did some work. Jake Browning looked good, which I think is like the expectation when you have a backup quarterback. You get in there, you have good weapons on offense, you have a coach that can be halfway decent at times. Okay, move the rock and move the ball. And I thought the Bengals looked really good last week, and I think they can do a similar thing this week against this stupid Colts team.
From a football standpoint, I'm buying everything you're selling right there. I just think that where our position is, this is 1,000% Jesse Martin to the 10th degree, a contest play, where my process with this game was I'm going to put this game at the bottom of my top 5 and let you guys figure it out. If you guys love it and it gets in the collective machine, c'est la vie. If not, I'm going to be hands off, because I was really impressed by what I saw out of Browning on Monday night against pressure. The guy was cool as a cucumber. And you know what really helps when you're a young, inexperienced quarterback thrown into the fire? It really helps to have Joe Mixon as your caddy next to you and to throw the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That helps a lot. And one of the things I do like about this game, I think I'm going to put it in my account, is over on 39.5. I know there's weather in this game. We're seeing 15 mile an hour sustained winds, 22 mile an hour gusts, 30% chance of rain. But both of these teams have some yak gods on the outside. So even if air yards are decreased because of weather conditions, these guys are slippery, and Pittman can scamper for 60. Chase can scamper for 60. Higgins can scamper for 60. So I think two suspect defenses could lead to some points in this spot. I'm just going to break for a bit because I just froze. Okay. 3, 2, and 1. Brett, you have the biggest opinion on the Indy side, so I'll let you take the reins on the Colts.
Well, first of all, Jake Browning isn't that young. Isn't he like 28? He's been around.
That's right. He was a super senior up in Seattle.
He's like 26, I think. Yeah,
he's got to be older than that.
But in pro football years, this is the first time he's playing.
Yeah, for sure. I want to fade both these teams. I said that in the Discord today, right? But the movement on this game off the look ahead is pretty wild. Like, Bengals go from +2 to a pick after Browning plays the game of his life on Monday Night Football. But now he enters a short week in potentially ugly passing conditions. I just think this is a market overcorrection. I don't think the Colts are any good, but this just feels a point off to me. I think this should be Colts favored. I capped it at Colts -1. I think the Bengals are going to be popular. So this really is a contest play for me too.
We move a bit further down DP's card to the greatest football team. Miami and the Dolphins, the greatest football team. They crushed tomato cans. They crushed one last week. Although, of course, Howell howls. It's such a sliding doors moment, that pick 6 to Van Ginkel. My under, the commies. You just
keep
can't.
Beating the market on these and getting it shoved down my throat. Every week.
Total, I think I beat that total by 2 points, and just did not matter because something Van Ginkel was strolling to the end zone untouched. But DP, you're once again laying the wood with McDaniel and the fish.
Yeah, they beat the crap out of bad teams. What do you want me to say here? They're going to score 50 points against this stupid defense. And what is Will Levis going to do? He can only throw so many deep balls a game. Okay, if that's your offense, it's not going to really be sustainable in the NFL. It's just not.
This is your boy, though. It's Vrabel.
Yeah, it's Vrabel, but whatever. Who cares?
when you get 2 punts blocked and one of them, your punter's leg ends up going the other way, I think the voodoo's ran
but
out.
Vrabel's he's like a guy who, he performs well when like they're an underdog. It's going to be a hard-nosed game, etc. Not against a high-flying super team of the Dolphins. I mean, like what's he going to do? The best bet Vrabel has is to tell somebody to knock out Tyreek Hill on the first play of the game. It's probably the best bet they have. Because then after that, it's probably a fair fight. But not with this. No shot.
Brett, you were the highest on those Tennessee.
I want nothing to do with these Dolphins games when they're favored by infinity. I don't know what to do. I had them last week because, like Donnie said, like they continue to just demolish bad teams. But these numbers are they're getting so high. How is this sustainable that they're just covering 2 touchdowns every single week?
All right, well, let's go to a team then you know absolutely what to do with, and that is your beloved Cleveland Browns.
No, I don't.
Quarterbacked by Joe Flacco. This whole week, I kept hearing about people say how well Joe Flacco played. And he let some rip. I thought he had some good throws. But when it mattered most, at the end, he had absolutely no interest in playing football, turtling on a safety, throwing the worst pick you've ever seen. But this is a good spot for that Browns defense to get home, get right against potentially, Brett, something CJ beat hard.
Could be beat hard. Could be Rourke.
Nathan
Rourke, who actually, some people like him. I've never actually seen him play, but I don't know. I've said it before. The Browns know how to win ugly, especially at home. And this game is going to be ugly. Awful weather conditions potentially in the forecast. And the Jags are in infirmary right now. Injuries all over the roster. I don't know how they move the ball in this game. And I don't expect our guy Beat Hard to serve up. I just don't. I think he's going to serve up some really positive field position for the Browns in this game. I think that's something that we've seen all year with the Browns. It is predictive. And yeah, I think the Browns, I mean, I pick the Browns every week, but I do think they get a win here. And
I was going to say, Brett,
Patriots
I need your
yeah, can we
Hunter, and who was it? And who was
stop
it?
talking
Who
about
was
beat
it?
hard? Talk about how hard you are, because Hunter Henry just scored again.
This is amazing.
I'm looking at this now. Because I'm in a playoff matchup and I have Henry on my team, but I didn't play him. I played Juwan Johnson over him.
Ouch.
And I'm looking at rankings right now to make sure I didn't mess up. And everywhere I see Juwan Johnson over him.
You
So.
can't,
I mean, I've
if
only
you
been
ever
waiting
have
for
a
this for
choice
13 weeks.
between a player in a game with a total of 30 and a player in a game not with a total of 30,
Yeah.
you always have to pick the player in the game not in a total of 30.
I just wanted to make sure my process was okay because I'm just watching this guy get a touchdown every possession and it's killing me. But the process was okay.
Best.
Pat's and over, baby. Let's go.
Chris just texted me that the 07 Patriots showed up for our over.
This is awesome. So the Jags, I think I have the highest opinion on the Jags. Yeah. I am interested in this game so let's talk about T-Law real quick. I think they're just playing games here. He was a limited participant today. He's not playing, right? High ankle sprain, short week. A game that I don't think matters in the long run.
That's the thing. People keep being like, well, Mahomes played with one. The season was on the line.
Yeah, that was the playoffs. That's completely different. I think this is just some shenanigans from Jacksonville. So if it's Beathard and the contest lines up to take the Browns, I think I'm interested in Jacksonville a bit just because the Browns aren't a good team, right? They're the good defense, bad offense team. So it's not like they're going to go out and blow the doors off any team in this league. So I think I would have some interest there if tomorrow on Friday Beathard is announced as the starter and we get some strong market support for Cleveland. But I'm certainly not running to click Jacksonville in this spot. I just think it might be a goofy little contest spot because, yeah, Beathard on the road against a Browns defense that has played better at home, and that's with them still being like the top defense in the league on the road, is not a prospect that I necessarily want to be all in on. Those are the lone. Oh, sorry. Mo has one lone wolf, and it's a very fun contest. Look at him. He's over there. He's shrugging. Blah, blah, blah.
The bills make me wanna.
Mo, the market is telling us that the Buffalo Bills are a point better than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Is that what it's telling us? I don't think that's what it's telling us.
Yes, what are you
It's
talking
Arrowhead.
about? What?
You don't think Arrowhead's 2.5?
I don't
It's
know.
gotta be two.
Arrowhead with Josh Allen might be 3.5. I mean, good lord.
Stone minimum 2.
Let's say
Bills say it's 1.5. Let's just say 1.5. Let's just, for argument's sake, 1.5. This is saying the Bills equal Chiefs. Huh?
What if they do?
No, stop it.
Why
Just
can't
stop
they?
it. Yeah, just stop it. Stop it.
Come on, isn't this predictive? Josh Allen needs to win a game on the road at Arrowhead. He's gonna blow it up. I can't wait for this. It's gonna be so great.
Somebody needs to explain to me why people are bullish on Buffalo when their defense still sucks. Someone needs to explain this to me. Have these guys miraculously gotten back off IR and started playing football?
Well, they spent 3 quarters locking up the Eagles.
Yeah, because the Eagles stink. Jalen Hurts is a bum. That's why. This is Mahomes.
Mahomes with losers.
Rashee Rice is nice.
Chiefs defense that took last week off, apparently, and has never, ever stopped Josh Allen. I watch it every single year. He wrecks the Chiefs.
I just don't understand all this market support for Buffalo. Because
the Bills' offense marches
and kicks field goals against Mahomes. That's what we do.
McDermott turtles, and they can't stop a nosebleed.
They are playing for their season, bro.
Who cares?
You don't think this game matters for the Chiefs? You're acting like it doesn't matter for the Chiefs.
I mean, it matters, but it's like 98% effort versus 100. I mean, that 2% matters.
Okay.
It could be the difference.
The Bills stink. I don't understand this. Everyone is bending over backwards to show as much love as possible to this Bills team that is a complete sieve on defense, and outside of throwing the ball to Diggs is still, they absolutely need superhuman output from Josh Allen. That is mandatory
and he does it
for
every
them.
Week.
Sure, he's been incredible. I don't know.
And then
we
you
got to
got
go to
Donovan Smith out. The Chiefs have like multiple starters out. The Chiefs have depth at these positions, but that depth is getting tested. I mean, Drew Tranquil is already subbing in for somebody else. Like, and then you got the safety snapping his leg or whatever that was. I'm glad I didn't see that, but I didn't hear good things about what that looked like. Thankfully, the sideline was blocking us from that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is just a fair line. So it's just like,
it's a fair line to say that the Bills are better at football than the Chiefs.
the market is hammering the Bills.
Yeah, they're idiots. They're complete stone moron. I think this is idiotic. I got it at 2.5. I guess I'm going to have to buy again at 1.5 because this is stupid. Brent, help
It's a tough spot, though. I don't know. We look at these Chiefs numbers as home favorites, short of a field goal, and it's like it has to be an auto click, right? Every single time, auto click on KC, unless Rich is betting the Dolphins. But I don't know. This offense, it isn't what it was. You got the Bills off the bye with extra time, short-ish week for the Chiefs. Nothing is pointing to KC here. But all of that's clearly baked into the line because this number is telling us, like you said, that the Bills are rated higher than KC in the market this week. And I can't get there. Not with Mahomes healthy. Like, I know the Bills, they went into Arrowhead and won last year against this team. They played well in Arrowhead, especially offensively the past few years. But KC needs to get back on track here too. And Reed and Mahomes are historically good off a loss when desperation starts to set in. And at 8-4, I mean, don't they feel a little desperate to get things going right now? Like,
And Mo, you're dumping on this Chiefs defense. What happens if Jordan Love doesn't convert a miraculous 4th and 1 60-yard blind heave to Romeo Doubs there?
Yeah, that was a crazy play, obviously, but they got wrecked by that Green Bay. What was Spags doing? He just decided not to blitz. Like, he just was like, all right, I'm just going to come in put the most vanilla game plan together. Everybody just drop back, sit in zone. Like, what were the Chiefs doing? I don't even know what that was. That was the
I don't
most
know why you're
pathetic game
acting
plan
like
I've ever
last week
seen.
was really that surprising. I mean, it was clearly the Chiefs could easily look ahead to this game. We said that last week. So, like, it's not that surprising that they kind of sucked last week.
I pounded the Packers. I'm
Yeah,
just
so,
saying,
like,
like, it was embarrassing.
The Chiefs are going to be ready for this spot. Like, they're going to be ready. This line is idiotic, okay?
This is stupid. This is a stupid line.
Like, it should be 3 minimum.
Touchdown Steelers. The over is going to come in the first half here. Almost.
What do you mean almost?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, math. 31. Bingo bongo. Now I got to root for the stupid Patriots to close this game. I can't wait till Zappy throws the backbreaker.
Yeah,
Wait, who scored?
You should
My
probably
little
just
helmets
live
are-
bet the Steelers.
I think something fake Tavon.
Deontay.
Oh, was it Deontay?
Yes.
All right, Lone Wolves. DP's got the Bengals and Dolphins. Brett has the Browns. Mo has the Buffalo Bills, who have a market rating higher than the Kansas City Chiefs this week.
You know that's not true.
It's 1,000% true. What
you
are
know
we doing
that's not
here?
true.
Do you know how math works? You're usually the sharpest one when it comes to math and quick numbers in this sense. This absolutely is saying that the Buffalo Bills are a better football team than the Chiefs.
It's not
What is
saying
home-
that.
What is home
It's
field
saying
advantage for
two
the Kansas
things.
City Chiefs?
It's saying one of two things, both
I
of which I think are
I
insane.
need some questions.
One
answered.
is that the Bills are a half point better, which is insane. 2, the Bills are even with the Chiefs, which I personally think is also insane. Okay, so both of those things are just wrong. I'm sorry. They just are.
What is home field value for Arrowhead Stadium, Mo?
I mean, I don't know. Probably 2 points. Maybe it's 2.5. I don't know.
Is it the spot then? Is it just the Bills off the bye?
Yeah,
Like the
Bills
extra
are off
rest?
The bye. The Chiefs have multiple injuries. The Bills are actually getting healthier on defense. This team is actually respectable on defense if you look at the roster. I mean, there's
you
really no
not
reason
watch-
for them to be that bad.
Did you not watch the second half and fourth quarter against the Eagles? When
I
the Eagles
did.
scored every single possession, zero resistance from the Bills. They just marched down that overtime drive was a fucking embarrassment from the Bills.
Well, that's a very good offense. And late in the game,
Is it though?
yes, the Eagles are a fraud because of their defense. They can't stop anybody.
Power rankings this week. Mo had the Chiefs at 2, the Bills at 7.
7?
What is he doing?
I don't know what we're doing here.
The Bills had a bye week. The Chiefs have injuries. What this is? I mean,
And how could you?
Yeah, but
isn't
the
that how you-
exercise is
all the
this
same.
week. That's the
yeah,
whole
isn't-
exercise.
isn't
This
your
is-
whole
2 to
thing-
7 is all the same anyway.
I mean, that's
The
not.
49ers
that's not
are
wrong.
better than everybody. And after
All right.
7, it's like
All right,
the
we
Lions.
we need to get out of here. My brain is leaking out of my ears. Okay. We reveal the card. Next.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Mo is the only member of the collective with a winning record last week, so he leads things off with a consensus pick, selling a team off of a big win last week that Mo is in person for. This is a stinky one, but Lord knows the collective love a stinky one. Who do we got, Mo?
I got the ultra stink bomb New York Giants plus 6.5. I mean, speaking of spots, this is a good one, right? I mean, you have a Packers team rolling Donnie's rule of flying high. They just won 3 huge games, 2 of them against very, very good teams, and they're feeling themselves. The entire betting market is feeling them after disrespecting the Packers multiple weeks in a row with lines that were stupid. And now they are in the flattest spot on the road against a bad team, which that's a flat spot as it is on the road against a bad team. And then you add in the Giants have had more than 2 weeks for this game. I got to take the Giants, guys. it makes me feel a little bit ill, but it is a good coach. It is a Packers team that has given up chunk plays in the running game. I know the Giants can't block anybody, but at times they have still ripped off some big plays handing to Saquon. The Chiefs creamed this Green Bay defense on the ground last week. They had like nothing to stop. I mean, Pacheco was getting like 6 yards a carry, and we know that this is not a good run defense. So, you throw in the fact that Jalen Hyatt might be able to break off a big play or two here. He is adding an extra dimension to this passing game that it really, really lacked before. I'm obviously terrified of DeVito taking 17 sacks because that's what he does every single week. But you add in the bad weather. I mean, the total is 36 and a half.
That's what I was going to go with. 37.
Every week, when I watch this Packers offense, because I always have money on them, so I keep watching them every week, they are getting so much mileage out of throwing deep. And when the wind is howling 20 miles an hour, that's the first thing to go, is throwing deep. So I'm just hoping the Giants can bring some heat, actually maybe blitz Jordan Love, and keep this game within reason.
Yeah, low total, 37, 39 degrees at game time, 14 sustained, 25-mile-an-hour gusts. We know randomness favors the dog in these spots. And I like that we're not getting the full 7. I hope it gets to full 7 in real life. Pushes people off this. Brett, thumbs up there. Little devil action. So we can be all alone on an island on Big Blue. Is anybody worried about this? Everybody lit up when Mo said that he has the Giants. That's
Love the Giants here.
We're sickos. We're absolute sickos.
Forgot to mention the Christian Watson injury, too. A guy who made some really nice plays against the Chiefs.
Making the sharpest play to try to stay in bounds.
But that was like the most awkward thing, wasn't it? I've never seen someone try to actually take a knee while moving.
Yeah,
Have you never slid, sir?
I was going to say, just rule of he never played baseball. Like, he just tried to downshift and his hamstring just popped. That was gross. All right, I'm up next because I went 2-3 and I have a better overall record than DP. And I've got the easiest cap of the week, guys. I got the Houston Texans on the card. Everyone's got their head in their hands. We get to anti-sweat the Jets. What's better than that?
This is the week it all blows up because the Jets score 13 random points and the Texans score 16.
I know we talked about this last week, but I'm still not convinced that the Jets weren't the right side last week because the Falcons were pitiful. But last week.
That's entirely the point, is that the Falcons were completely inept and the Jets, the fakest of sweats at the end with the ball to win the game. They had no chance. It wasn't happening.
Okay.
Wasn't happening. DP, you're up next. This is where it gets dicey.
Oh, yeah.
DP's top pick was sniped by the collective, leaving him with a lone wolf at his number 2.
Bengals. We got that Bengals.
No way. Veto. Are we doing vetoes this year? What's going on?
Yeah, I already fucking used mine.
Pick another game, please.
Well, yeah, I think this is a rule of just pick another game.
Yeah, okay, Chiefs.
There we go. I like it. We're going to have leverage. People are going to pick the stupid Bills team.
All right, you guys have your fun. But when the Bills are marching up and down the field against this sleeping trash KC secondary that just got destroyed by a worse offense, don't say I didn't warn you.
And when Josh Allen has 2 or 3 boneheaded turnovers, our group chat with ODB is going to light up and be like, this is predictive. This is how it is every single time.
I can't wait to get ODB's take on that game. Speaking of stinky, Brett's coming in with the 60-year-old aged cheddar here. Not as bad as the G-Men, I don't think, because their opponent is much worse. But Brett, what home dog are we adding to the card?
The Raiders.
Another consensus pick.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening with this number. Like, how, with Josh Dobbs, are the Vikings laying 3 on the road? And I don't care if Jefferson is back or not. These guys have never played together before. So, like, how valuable is Justin Jefferson to this number, really?
I think Jefferson's worth a field goal. I think.
How can he be worth a field goal?
No way.
I think elite receivers are worth a field goal.
But
that being
they've
said,
never played together.
That being said, that means you have to start this game at a pick'em. That means you think the Vikings were 2 to 3 points better than the Raiders in the first place, which I think is rich with Josh Dobbs on the road.
Okay.
I thought I was the only one in the world who liked the Raiders.
Oh, I love the Raiders.
Gotta take them.
I think this is for me, it's just a continuation of the fade Dobbs approach that I've been deploying for a month now. He's erratic. He's not a reliable quarterback. He's susceptible to the turnover worthy plays, especially on the road. I think you just have to fade him because the public still loves this guy.
The only fear here is Kevin O'Connell, because he could coach circles around Antonio Pierce. He could create a game plan that gets Justin Jefferson 200 yards. Like, I don't put it past him.
What's literally my worry is 100. The only thing that's hanging me up is coaching. Not only Kevin O'Connell, but you have Brian Flores, who is a genius, against this idiot Antonio Pierce. I refuse to believe this guy isn't an idiot.
Something O'Connell facing, there was I think it was in the Discord, bit.ly/Discord Moose. Our guy, MS Tima, put it in there. He's a high school football coach, or at least was, up in Mass, and he's absolutely obsessed with this stuff. But there's an article about how in week 3 or 4, Flores basically switched the entire defense in Minnesota to mimic what Pitt is doing. Because he was obsessed with their 5-man fronts, and teams have absolutely started to melt against the Vikings. They reduced their blitz rate, and they've just been crushing teams on defense. So yeah, now you've got Aiden O'Connell against this defense that has had 2 weeks to prepare. It's terrifying. And then the other terrifying thing is, so Addison was thrown into the fire, right, as WR1, and now he gets to be WR2 again and get less attention on some of these routes. So I think if you are interested in the Vikings, just fire alts and maybe even correlate them with the over, because they might just score a shit ton of points in this game. But I think on its surface, I think this is quite rich, and I'm very happy to have Las Vegas on the card. DP, you've been quiet.
I mean, I don't think the Vikings should be 3-point road favorites against really anyone. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Is our guy Zappy here favoring his arm? Is it going to be Malik-ism?
Zappy sucks, okay?
He's really bad.
And the worst part about him is he is so cocky. Like, he thinks he's the best. It must be so infuriating to play.
Did you see him after that touchdown?
That's what I mean. He thinks he's the best. Dude, shut up. You are horrific. This guy shouldn't be in the league. Shouldn't be in the CFL for all I care. The guy, it's just... It's got to be so annoying to play against somebody like that. He has one random good game, and he's just... beaking nonstop. Shut up, dude.
The entire Pats team, I think after the first Hunter Henry touchdown, one of the O-linemen did the king crown on Hunter Henry. I'm like, let's not crown Hunter Henry. I know he's doing it for Minotti's best ball, but all right, let's get to another.
I just want to say real quick, if Brett gets a Hunter Henry team into the next round of best ball, he might be the only person in the entire round with Hunter Henry, so very good work, sir. You are going to have a sweat.
He might push a couple of my teams into the playoffs. That's what's happening right now. That's why I'm so excited.
Let's go. I need the same, but from Adam Troutman.
These my guys getting targets.
All right, let's get the collective pick.
The collective chooses the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't know how to feel about this one. I feel like I always cap the Rams incorrectly, and I always cap the Ravens incorrectly. So this is a pair of teams that tend to give me issues, but we're looking at weather. This is the weather game of the week. 22-mile-an-hour winds sustained. 35-mile-an-hour gusts, 95% 25% chance of rain. Total's 40.5. We're getting 7.5. This is painted across the board at 7.5. And if it's one thing that the Rams have started to do quite well, Mo, it's establish it. They're running the ball real well right now. And in a game that's going to be a slop fest, it'll be real nice to have a dog that can reduce the amount of possessions in this game, run some clock, and run the football.
And we know where Stafford does his best work is on timing routes over the middle. These are the ones that are going to be least affected by wind, we hope. And yeah, it's just like you said, this offense is clicking. By the way, weren't you pounding the Rams the last 2 weeks when they just keep winning by 20?
Well, last week I was pounding them because they're playing the idiotic Browns, and everybody loves the Browns for some reason, Minotti included.
But yeah, like I feel like this Rams offense is really coalescing into what Sean McVay wants it to be, and he's calling some great games. And I mean, they shredded a great Browns defense. And my only real fear here is just if injuries are piling up on these pass catchers. We know Kupp and Puka have been less than 100% the last couple of weeks. And then you even got Tyler Higbee, who actually has been doing some pretty decent work for them and is maybe WR3. I don't even know if he's going to play, but we like anytime this Rams offense is facing a team that struggles to generate pressure. And I think even though they've been great this year, the Ravens do qualify. They're like 20th or something in pressure rate. So as long as they protect Stafford, I feel pretty good here. And yeah, the fact that they have been running the ball so well, I think is big. And then Mark Andrews' injury, man, this is by far their most reliable target, and especially in the red zone. So if we get an extra field goal here or there that would have been a touchdown, that could be big.
DP, this was also your top pick. Pile on with LA.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is on the wrong side of 7. I think, there's going to be some weather, but I think Mo hit on the fact that, the Rams, they like to run. They've been doing it successfully. And then also when they pass, I mean, it's like these dink and dunk little slants to the guys over the middle, and they can get some extra yardage and whatever. So I'm not too worried about that. On the other side, I think you have to attack this Rams defense by throwing against them. One, I'm not sure I trust the Ravens just in general to throw against anyone, really. I think they want to be a run-first team. And then also you throw in the weather element of things. You throw in the Mark Andrews thing. I mean, I just have less confidence in them ever being able to do that. I mean, maybe I'm an idiot here and the Ravens are just going to win by 40 again. I have no idea. But I feel like this is just a really wrong line. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm missing something, but I can't not take the 7.5.
Brett, you had the Rams second in your top 5, so put a pin on this contest.
Yeah, I mean, with these really ugly weather conditions, you'd certainly think that would favor or benefit the Ravens and their top-ranked rushing attack, right? But, I mean, that's the angle that everybody's looking at going into this game. It's like the Ravens have to be north of 7 because they're so much better on the ground in these conditions. But let's not forget how, the Rams have been awesome running the football this year with Kyron Williams in the backfield. And the Ravens they can't afford to stack the box against McVay and Stafford and Kupp and Nakua and these timing routes like Mo said. So this is too many points for me. I got this at 6.5 in these conditions with the public on Baltimore too. I don't know if people at 7.5, are people going to play the Ravens? Maybe not, but I think the Rams are the play here regardless.
So the card, Rams, Giants, Chiefs, Bengals, Raiders. There were 4 other consensus picks, but only 2 of them featured in a host's top 5. I'll start real quick with the Bucs over the Falcons. I think this is a really good spot for Tampa Bay playing against a Falcons team that is likely going to be without Jeff Okudah, who has not practiced yet this week, and AJ Terrell is in concussion protocol. So the Bucs get to go
David
indoors.
Onyemata.
Something on Yamada.
He's all they got left on the D-line in the middle, I think, with Grady Jarrett already out.
So the Bucs get to go indoors, and Baker might be able to just shred against this Falcons team that was a complete disaster last week against the Jets. But we're able to escape because the Jets are 766 of 766 out of offense in the history of time. So I think it's a good spot to sell the Falcons off of a win, buy the Bucks. I think this total is crazy low. I think it's 40.5. I think that's insane.
I kind of think this total's too low too.
Yeah. Like, so there's
lot
your
of defensive injuries, multiple key. But I mean, what if Vita Vea sits though? Like that's pretty big, man. I mean, he's
Jamel Dean's still banged up. Levante's trying to play. I guess he's back to practice, but he's old and always banged up. So yeah, like these teams might just walk up and down the field. So yeah, I would definitely look over in the spot, and like the Bucks would probably just go money bet line with the short number. And then the other game that's in a top 5 is Mo has the Hawks in his top 5, shaking his head, putting his head in his hands. Something must be terrifying you.
because every time I fade the 49ers, they win by 30. It happens every single time. So that's why the last 2 weeks I said, listen to ODB, don't be stubborn. And I bet 49ers team total over against Seattle. And I bet 49ers against the Eagles. And all of a sudden I have more money than I had before. It's almost like you should never fade the 49ers. But at the same time, I do think this line is a little bit too high. I mean, the Seahawks got their tackles back, and all of a sudden they looked functional again, passing the ball. So maybe
I was gonna say, Mo, this is one of your best rules. Rule of somebody get Pete Carroll's number. Because if we text him and he texts back that they're going to throw the ball every play, then the Hawks are the right side by the countryest of miles. But if Pete Carroll is going to do dumb shit and plunge forward with DJ Dallas, then the Hawks are going to get destroyed in this game.
Also, ultra circle. I mean, this is the same as that Denver game against the Chiefs earlier this year. They know everybody's talking about how the 49ers whoop their ass by 20 every time. If they don't come to play with their absolute best in this spot, the best game plan, the best everything, if everybody didn't spend 10 extra hours in the facility this week getting ready for this game, then just quit football.
The other 2 games, I mean, guys, we all clicked the Panthers. We all did that. But I don't think, can anybody muster an opinion in that game? It's Jameis week, Brett. I was shocked. I was shocked that Brett didn't click Jameis.
Yeah, Jameis week means both things. Like, it's great, but also could be terrible. I think that's why I clicked Panthers, is because Jameis, I think I would prefer Carr in the spot just because he just has to go out there and play the script, right? Whereas Jameis, you're going to get at least one head scratcher. So I think I would trust more against the Panthers, and that's why I clicked Carolina. But I don't really have much of an opinion on this one either.
Is he for sure
DP,
playing?
you were going to jump in there.
Well, is Jameis for sure? Because Carr's practicing was what I was looking at today.
Is it LP
my cap is
protocol?
this: if Carr somehow clears and decides to be an idiot and go out there and play, all in on the Panthers. If Jameis Winston decides to get in there, okay, I'm gonna back off. But like, Carr is going out there with like 17 injuries. He already sucks this season. Oh, so like, what's he going to do? Half concussed, bad shoulder, rib. I don't know what this guy has. This guy has 6 injuries a week and picks up 3 more. I mean, come on.
Donnie's right. We saw this once before against the Vikings. That idiot tried to play at 60%, and it was 20-0 before anybody could finish their first cheeseburger of the day.
The other consensus pick was Lions over Bears. Mo, I have not heard one person in front of a microphone this week say one good thing about the Detroit Lions. Everybody spilling over themselves to take the absolute fake sharp devil side in the Bears.
I don't get why people love the Bears, because I'm just like looking at this game and remembering the last 2 drives. Guys, a team was down multiple scores with 4 minutes left, and they came back by running the ball. Like, that's what happened in that game. I watched those last couple drives, and they were literally in hurry up. It was like on Madden when you catch the opponent in dime, and you just do hurry up, and you keep running the ball, and you just keep getting 6 yards of carry. That's literally what happened in that comeback. It was incredible. So I get why people like the Bears, because Jared Goff is horrific outside, and this could be terrible weather. But what if he only needs to hand off? And also, man, if Detroit's offensive brain trust does not figure this out, I have nothing but bad things to say about them, because Chicago had a good game plan last time. They seemed to like have these zones ready where they had guys in Goff's throwing lanes where he wanted to throw. That seems like an easy fix. So just do some different stuff with your passing game, change it up a little, and then just pound the rock. But man, do I want to lay multiple points against or with Jared Goff outside? Not really. So I don't know. I like the under here, man. I think both teams are going to be pounding the rock, and this clock is going to be churning.
All right, we move on to Survivor as we pour one out for Minotti. Got by Tomlin and this idiot Steelers team last week against the Arizona Cardinals. But Mo, you still trudge forward. You still write one of the most popular Survivor columns on the internet, forthelines.com. Where are we going this week if we're still alive?
This week is much like the last several weeks. I think there's definitely been some good options kind of in the middle of the card. Teams that are around 5-6 point favorites. I kind of liked New Orleans, but then this New Orleans injury report is absolutely terrifying. So just too much scary variance in that spot for me at this point, I think. So it sucks because like I wanted to like the Steelers actually, and that might have been a good play, I thought, but here we sit and here the Steelers are getting buried.
Where you got the Texans?
Yeah, that's, I think, in play for sure. I think, dude, everyone is going to play Green Bay, I think, though, because they have like not been favored at all this year. And I would be pretty excited to not have Green Bay. So I think if you can find a way not to play Green Bay, I think that's good. And you got to watch the quarterback injuries this week, man. I mean, I wonder if we would rather fade Beat hard or just wrecked Trevor Lawrence in that spot. But yeah, that's an interesting one because the Browns total's so low. I don't know, man. There's not going to be many points in that game. So literally one bad play could just sink everything in that spot.
What about the Cowboys?
Everyone's used the Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure. At this point. All right. Week 14. Happy about the card. We got a lot of consensus. We got some ugly we got something DeVito's on the, it's good. It's good when the quarterback has a DeVito on it. We almost had a Browning. We have Mahomes on the card, guys. When is the last time?
O'Connell,
Canton,
whatever that guy's name is for the Raiders. What the hell is his? I don't even know who the quarterback's name is for the Raiders.
We got O'Connell
O'Connell.
We're balancing our range just a little bit.
You got that right. All right. Follow these guys on Twitter at Monuwara, NUWWARAH, at Donnie_Peterson, at Brett Colson, COLLSON. Enjoy the betting this weekend. The next time that I pod, I will be in Australia. Down under, mate. So, apologies for the video, by the way. It'll have the game graphics, but no logos this week because your boy has 24 hours of flights coming up. So, apologies for that. But for those listening, you have no idea about that. You've enjoyed the show. Enjoy your betting. We'll catch you next week. Need 5-0. Peace. Out.